Good day, folks. Everything new under the sun. It is March 10th, 2022. You're looking at the Cyber Polygon page, so you can go to cyberpolygon.com. We covered this, a month or two ago. And there is an event planned for July 8th, 2022, and it says the International Capacity Building Initiative aimed at raising global cyber resilience. Central theme is digital resilience in the cloud age. And this is all about securing the world's internet computers from cyber attacks effectively. It's similar to Event 201, where they effectively practiced and drilled an upcoming pandemic. And of course, that seemed to turn out pretty accurate with what they were expecting to come. And then on the heels of that, was the Cyber Polygon testing and drills as it relates to cyber attacks. And even Klaus Schwab has come out and said, and others, and have said, you know what, the next big thing, the next pandemic is going to be a digital pandemic, effectively. A computer virus is going to go around, and they're going to have to shut down your internet for a day, to take care of the virus. They're going to have maybe a blackout, maybe a bank holiday to reset the banking systems because maybe they were infected with a bug or something, a virus, a computer virus, right? So Pandemic 2.0 in this Cyber Polygon. And we kind of extrapolated that and said, okay, Event 201, that seemed to go live. It seemed like a pretty significant false flag sort of thing, and it sort of went live not long after they did a drill on that one. So is Cyber Polygon then going to go live? And that's kind of the big question. Well, interesting thing, with all the what I term as cancel culture on Russia now, they're canceling everything. It is, if you have any assets in Russia, you're dropping them like flies. And BP Oil and Shell, they've dropped all their assets in Russia and their investments, etc. Visa, MasterCard have stopped processing cards in the country. You can't go to you can't use your Visa card at a bank machine now if you're a Russian. That means you may not be able to buy food. You may not be able to pay your mortgage. You may not be able to do lots of different banking. You may be starving. Hard times, unprecedented. Before, we used to have just a conventional war. The regular civilians, food was low, but they could still bank. They could still buy and sell things. But it's gotten to the point where we don't do conventional warfare anymore. We either do nuclear war, which no one wants to do, or they start this cancel culture thing where they start freezing bank accounts. And this really came out in large measure in Canada with the trucker convoy. This is where they kind of first tested and confirmed that freezing bank accounts they could do. They were able to do it. They implemented emergency orders, martial law in Canada for a period of, I don't know what it was, 6 or 7 days. And they were able to freeze accounts. What are they doing in Russia? Well, they're freezing bank accounts. Remember, this is this digital warfare, cyber polygon, if you will, where no longer are you using conventional weapons. You aren't even using drone technology anymore. You're simply cutting people out of the economy digitally. You're stopping doing business with them. You're cutting all the digital ties. You're blocking their bank accounts, the freezing assets. You're limiting them from getting on Coinbase and other cryptocurrency exchanges. This is happening right now in Russia. Everything you see happening in Russia is going to happen to you and I, just like it happens in China. If you are saying something bad against the government, your social credit score goes down. What happens when your social credit score goes down? You can't buy a plane ticket. You can't buy a train ticket. Maybe you're limited in groceries you can buy at the grocery store. Everything's digital. That means the government can, at the click of a button, assign a number to you. So that's interesting, right? Mark of the beast. And they can switch you on, switch you off, depending on how good of a person, how good a citizen you are. If the government disagrees with what you're saying, they'll just shut you down. They'll freeze your accounts. They don't have to put you in jail anymore. They don't have to charge you or fine you anymore. They simply cut off all your digital access to the world. And digital access is everything. Internet, telephone, bank cards, insurance. They turn off your insurance. They expire your licenses, your driver's license, all these things. All of a sudden, you can't do anything. You can't buy or sell. You can't have a job. You can't do anything in your community because everybody works based on this. And if you work with the next guy over who has, a credit card and has a bank account who's trying to pay you digitally, well, now they can't pay you digitally. Now they have to go get cash. Well, what are they going to do? They're going to get rid of cash. Well, the next thing related to the cyber polygon is this. So Cogent is an internet service provider. They are now cutting off the backbone. They are stopping internet in Russia. Now, I assume Russia has several different access points for internet services. Cogent is one of them. A major internet service provider's disconnection is a new step toward the splinternet that adds fragmentation to global communication network. So no longer is it this freely available thing to all countries, whether they're communist, free, democratic, whatever. Now the quote-unquote free countries are deciding that they don't like what Russia's doing. They're going to cut off all internet. And this really harms the citizens of Russia, and there's going to be lots of collateral damage there. But this does a number of things significantly. Like I say, this is kind of the epitome, the end result of cancel culture, and I think they will do this to you and I and any other country that doesn't go along with whatever they say is correct. It's very akin to the social credit score system in China right now. And it's just like what they did to the convoy and the truckers in Canada. They froze their accounts, and it was very useful. At the end of the day, those truckers didn't care so much, but they're a lot of money, and there's still $10 million or so in limbo on Give, Send, Go, which they haven't dispersed yet, because it's still effectively in the courts. There's battles for Ottawa in Canada to take those funds, to steal those funds effectively, and to pay the government back for apparently the damage that the convoy caused or whatever. So there's legal battles going on with that money. So none of that money's been dispersed. All those truckers are out of pocket for 3 weeks of diesel. There was a lot of cash donations and just physical donations. But freezing accounts is still going on, and it is now an option for the government that they can do at any time going forward now. The precedent has been set. They can use it any time against anybody they don't like. All they have to do is put a charge of mischief on you. This is what they did to all the organizers. Mischief, not a big deal, normally. But now you got to go to court. Now your bank accounts are frozen until you prove that you're innocent. So no longer is it the idea of innocent until proven guilty. It's guilty until proven innocent. And there's fallout from this. This means that if they shut it down, what's Russia going to do? Well, Russia's going to return the favor. Maybe do cyber attacks. Maybe bring down the rest of the internet of the world. And you know what? This is making it easier for Russia to do cyber attacks. Let's look at this. Ready for massive cyber attacks, says this article. Russia will completely disconnect from the global internet on March 11th. That's tomorrow, folks. March 11th. Russia will completely disconnect from the global internet March 11th. No later than March 11th, all servers and domains must be transferred to the RussianZone.ru. In addition, detailed network data on the network infrastructure of the sites is being collected. This news comes just 2 days after the World Economic Forum removed Cyber Polygon, I guess a reference, from its webpage. It says, meanwhile, Russian spy ship Yantar, known for spying undersea internet cables, has left its base in Arctic Russia. Are they getting prepared, if they have to do something to the internet of the world and the undersea cables, the fiber optic cables that go there? We also know that they have satellite destroying satellites, basically. They have counter satellite weapons in space right now, as far as I understand. And this means any satellite-based internet systems could also be disabled, destroyed. China, too, has a similar technology. It says, are you ready for a cyber war? Because this statement, the statement is like Tell me you are planning a massive cyber attack without telling me you are planning a massive cyber attack. Yeah, right. So Russia is going to its complete own internal network because of what the world is doing, because of Cogent and other internet providers are disconnecting and stopping service to them in the name of, get out of Ukraine and such, which I don't disagree with. But this is all precedent-setting stuff. Never before has this happened, to my knowledge, where a whole country has had its internet shut off because the rest of the world doesn't like what it's doing. This is really tearing them down. This is really pushing them into a corner. They're already in a corner, and this is going to push them to the max into the corner and really put the pressure on Putin at this point. Now, he's got nothing left except nuclear weapons. So I don't know how the world ever comes back from the brink after this. Another tweet here. Russia will completely disconnect from the global internet March 11th. As service providers disconnect and stop their access to the internet. What does this do? Well, this deadline and this cutting off means not only is Russia more likely to activate its hackers and push cyber attacks around the world in retaliation, it actually shelters them and buffers them. Now they have their own internal network. They can now safely disconnect on their own from the rest of the internet of the world. And from their own protected internet, they could shut down the rest of the world internet without having their internet access go down internally. So this really sets them up to a point where they can now deploy hackers and groups of hackers and there's cyber attacks from their own safety of their own internet. Without connections from the outside world, from which other countries would need to get into cyber attack Russia. So it insulates them from attacks and means that they can attack outwards by other means against the internet of the world. So cyber polygon, could it be coming into effect? Could there be massive cyber attacks from Russia as retaliation for this? I think this is a perfect setup, and this is happening tomorrow. We'll see what comes of it. Will it happen right away? Well, maybe not. What's Putin's next step? That's the real question, folks. So I will leave it there. Be prepared. If we have a bank holiday, if we have an internet shutdown day because they have to deal with the new pandemic of a computer virus, you heard it here first. Well, maybe you didn't hear it here first, but I hope this has at least reminded you of the fact that you need to be prepared for this sort of thing. It gets worse from here, folks. I hope your heart is in order. I hope you know the Lord Jesus Christ as your personal Savior. He's coming soon, but first, some real hard times are coming, and that's why you need to have your heart right and Jesus Christ in your heart and get prepared. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.